Cashflow Diary Podcast, episode 588.
Welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Cashflow Diary Podcast, the podcast that teaches you insider tips, tactics, and strategies for creating leverage streams of cash flow into your life. Learn from top-performing entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, and thought leaders from across the globe as they share their secrets to success. Like what you learn on this and other Cashflow Diary podcast episodes? Go to learninvestingnow.com and sign up to receive powerful tips and information that will help you succeed as an entrepreneur and investor. Now, here's your host, investor, entrepreneur, business owner, educator, speaker, author, and master facilitator of Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow game, Jay Massey.
Howdy, peoples. How are you doing today? Hopefully things are going well. I wanted to catch up with you guys. Some of you, maybe you saw earlier today, I was up at the Intelligent Investor Conference 2020, and we was on stage for just a brief moment. Thank you. So, we just got back, and we are here, so you're there. And for those of you that indeed are here, welcome. Glad. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, what we've been doing is we've been talking about making short-term rentals happen, making it happen for you, making it easier for happening for you. And now what we're doing is we're looking for those individuals who are ready to take their short-term rental game to the next level. What does that mean? That means we've been discussing how when you become a part of the roadmap, here's what that means. That means you have your own dedicated accountability coach. That means I am training you. Myself and my team are training you for the next 12 months, giving you all of the inside secrets that you need in your marketplace to keep moving forward faster. So we're doing that for you and everyone else in the program. So we're asking and inviting each of you to join us. To do that, you just go over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. That'll get you started on your journey of building your six-figure short-term rental business. And you've heard this weekend from a number of different individuals who are at various stages of their short-term rental career. You've been able to understand that we've been doing this instruction and training game for quite some time, and that we're doing it differently now to make sure that more people go faster, come through, get what they need in order to become bigger, better, as well as badder. We've talked about making sure that you know what to say to landlords, why short-term rentals work, how to get the revenue and make that happen. We've talked about almost every aspect of this entire business in and of itself. So what is the goal right now? Well, the goal right now is to help you, those of you who feel the need that you're ready to get across that finish line and maybe you just need a little extra push. I don't know what it's going to take, but I do know this. I know that we are here to support you. We have been here for the entire time. You guys are here because I'm assuming you would like the support. So we are ready to support you. Hello, Keisha. How are you? I see you. Yes, for those of you that indeed are here, do me a favor. Even though there's no worksheet today, go ahead and type in the chat, short-term rentals rocks, because you know it's true. I would love to know who that is, because I see a number of you. The screen tells me you guys are there, so I want to know who it is. It tells me a number of people. It doesn't necessarily tell me who, for those of you wondering and feeling like we're stalking you or something. Anyway, nonetheless, what we want to do is, like I said, help you guys get over and join us so that short-term rentals really rocks. Excellent, Vu, 100%, and I agree. Hey, Sarah, what is going on? What's up, Bill? Thank you. I totally appreciate you guys participating in that way. Woo! Ruth, what's going on? Tyler, how you doing? So yes, as mentioned, for those of you who have already gone over to or have already decided to become a part of the roadmap, welcome. I'm glad to hear you and know that you are there. Let me show you guys something that I think is important So when we're talking about the roadmap, one of the things that's important to understand is, like I said, it's a year long, 12 months. You're going to get 1 year with myself. You're going to get in my team, personal dedicated accountability coach. You're going to get access to all of the coaches and trainings. Now, here's the thing I want to make sure that I'm very clear about. We're talking phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So even if you have literally zero real estate experience today, we don't care. We can walk you all the way through the process. And currently, this is the part that I want you to pay attention to. It says 3 times weekly. 3 times. That's what it says. Coaching and training calls with JMT and guest experts. Now, I'm bringing that to your attention for the following reason. Because when you go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap, that's what the page is going to look like, what I just showed you. So the reason I'm bringing that to your attention is because it says 3 times, right? I'm also stating again that we will have open enrollment, for lack of a better word, multiple times this year, right? And at each open enrollment, the price, because again, the structure and what we're putting together will continually increase. So what does that mean? Because we've received questions like, hey, are you going to do this again? The answer is yes. And we're also letting you know now that the lowest price you will see for this is today at $9.97 a month. Now, some of you've asked paying in full. Sure, no problem. If you pay in full, one of the things that we'll do for you is we'll make sure that you have your first television to go inside your unit, which is, again, a 50-inch 4K ultra high definition flat screen television that we will arrange for pickup from a Best Buy near you. Now, for those of you overseas, we'll likely send you the cash equivalent because that's a little more tricky when it comes to electronics and overseas and all the shipping, etc. But for the rest of you, we'll just order it so that you can go pick it up. Anyway, go over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Now, today we're going to talk about the 10 things that I wish I knew before I got started, in the sense. There are 10 things that I now know that I didn't know, if you kind of will. But before I do that, I want to give every one of you a chance at one other thing. One is to remember that oftentimes when you're in pursuit of a goal or your pursuit of an outcome, you may not know what the goal is. So, especially when it comes to real estate, one of the things, if you ask most people, hey, how many houses do you need, or how many whatever do you need in order to quote unquote retire? Very few people know that number or how to calculate that number, or even where to begin with that. They just know, I want to be into real estate. Okay, cool. How much you're looking for? So what we've done for you is we've put together a calculator that will give you that answer in terms of short-term rentals. How many short-term rental units do you need to put yourself in a state of retirement? Well, all you got to do is go to cashflowdiary.com/how many units, and you'll be able to figure that out because the calculator is going to tell you. Okay, the calculator is going to tell you. So, 2 things today. We're here to answer some of your questions, whatever they might be. Also, though, if you've got questions about the roadmap, about joining, about what that looks like, go ahead and type that into the chat as well. Because for those of you who do decide to join today, what's going to happen is that you will be a part of our call tomorrow, which is at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry. Took me a second to remember. So, which gets me to what I want to show you that very few people outside of those inside of the actual program have seen. So I'm going to show you inside the application and some of the things that's been happening right now. Now, many of you, as it currently stands, you're familiar with us on Facebook, and that's wonderful and that's great. And what is happening is that we have an application at the moment, and inside of that application, what you have or what we have available is the ability to be way more direct, way more clear, way more easy. It's easier to communicate information when we know that you're going to get it. And that's what we've been able to do now. So a number of the members are beginning to open their accounts inside the application. And now they're able to ask even more direct questions, not only of myself, but of each other. And their accountability coaches and teams. One of the things I want to draw your attention to, because this becomes something that we get asked all the time. Things like best practices and staffing questions. And, well, we have some fun stuff when it comes to guess what my guest did. Photos and being able to make sure that, cleaning, QA, inventory, tools, technology. What about this software? What about that software? We now have a place to where that's going to be more easily positioned, placed, so that all of us can be on the same page. All of us can have similar, in a perfect world, exact situations and information. Additionally, yes, there we go. We have our events are starting to be populated and filled in so that, hey, when the calls are, and you don't have to chase down all of these links anymore. And that I get excited for that. I get excited for being able to easily, quickly communicate clearly as well. So there's a number of additional benefits that are coming their way, and there are a number of additional benefits that are being received by those of you who are starting your journey with us today and following. So I'm excited about the app for so many reasons and more. And I'm also excited for those of you who are deciding to get started, because it's also fun to do. All right, so I saw this chat was scrolling, so this is good. And there's something special that I'm going to do. Okay, so make sure that you're paying attention so that when it comes on the screen, you see it. So what does that mean? That means I may not say it out loud. That means you actually have to be watching your screen because this will be just, it's a little fun for me. All right, I see lots of short-term rentals rocks. That's excellent. Hey, Vu. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Bill, Ruth, Tyler, Malik, David, Kendra, Nevin, yep, Erwin, how are you? Is it possible to get my first unit by February? Okay, it depends when in February you're talking. Like if you're saying February 1st, okay, let me, well, it depends. That's the most reliable answer I can tell you is that it depends. Now, what does it depend on? It depends on you. And honestly, in a lot of what it depends on is how willing you are to actually follow exactly what I suggest and what the program is. But again, that's one of the reasons the accountability coach is there. That's one of the reasons we have the continual training. Now, one of the things that we'll be doing this week on our implementation and training calls is we are going to be talking about things like that, Malik, making sure that you can, yes, get them as quickly as possible. I forget which day of the week it is those calls are, or like which of the calls this week that is. But yeah, that's one of the things. No. So are you saying in the next 5 days, because February is like 5 days away, right? Is it possible? Yeah, it's possible. Have people done it? Absolutely. Now, I don't know how probable it is until we begin to see how much you are willing to move at the speed of instruction, what resources look like, if any, those types of things. But by the end of February, yeah, for sure. But if you're talking February 1st, yeah, it's also possible. But I have more questions and concerns. But I think worst case scenario by the end of February, for sure. Because a number of people have done that. Like there's a whole lot of people who have done like in that first 30 day situation, which is again why that's part of the pricing, discount, etc. behind the program is we're reasonably confident that if you follow it, you can be in a position to which $9.97 a month is not going to be an issue for you. You just got to keep moving forward. And that's really what it comes down to. And that's what we want to do for each and every one of you is help you move forward using short-term rentals and building it. So can it be done? Yes, Malik. Will you do it? That's my question to you. Will you do it? We want you to. We're here to support you through. So yeah, that's exactly what we're after. All right. So short-term rentals rocks. Oh, he says February 20. Oh, yeah. I have way less concerns at February 29th, my friend. But it's still, you still have to follow the system. You still have to do the work. We're not going to be able to do it for you, obviously. And we have so many people who have done that and more in terms of their first 30 days. We have some people who got 3 in that time, some 5, some 7, some, it just depends. You know what I'm saying? So it's not, I'm not concerned about can you get 1 in that time. I'm more concerned, will you take this as seriously as I believe you should in that time frame? I don't know, because you might have to change your schedule around. The Super Bowl's coming up. You might need to go talk to a landlord at that time. I don't know how dedicated you are to the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that that tend to get in the way more than is it possible? That's like saying, I mean, just imagine. That's like asking, are there any spaces for rent in the geographic area that I live? Yes. Got it. So out of all of the spaces for rent, if I talk to all of them, let's just pretend you had the physical capacity to talk to every landlord that currently today has something available for rent. Do you think you could get 1 to say yes? Even if you are horrible with the first person, by the time you got to the last person, or before you got to the last person, you would improve, right? But what would that take? That would take you being willing to hear no over and over and over again, going back, studying, moving, going again, being willing to fail fast, fail forward, and fail frequently. That's what it would take, right? If there were 100 landlords that had units available, could you get 1? The odds are in your favor. But I don't know how you're going to respond to hearing the word no. That's what I don't know. See, and that's the only difference, really, is how quickly you hear no. So, and how quickly you rebound after hearing no. You rebound quickly, we got a shot. So hopefully that makes sense. I think you can do it. We're here to support you through it. But will you do it? That's the answer, Malik. So hopefully that helps. Anyway, whoa. The chat just went crazy. I don't know what y'all said. Somebody said something. Scroll. Vu, when does the training start? It is my goal of 10 units by the end of the year. Pretty realistic for Orange County. Okay, Vu. So yes, when does the training start? The training begins the moment you go over to CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap. Complete the order form. Then you're going to get your access to your enrollment paperwork. Once those 2 things are done, it starts a whole bunch of automatic stuff that begins to happen. You're going to get access to the courses. So, Vu, you could be studying tonight. That's what's going to happen, like literally tonight. And then tomorrow morning, you'll be a part of the 10 a.m. call. And Vu, I don't know if I've said this before, but we actually might be neighbors. If you're asking about Orange County, I live in Laguna Hills. We have 13. I have 13 locations right now in Orange County proper. So, yes, in Orange County, the number that you have, 10 units, totally possible. To be transparent with you, in my first 6 months, we got to 19 of them. 10 were in Orange County, 9 were, no, sorry. 11 were in Orange County, 8 were in Los Angeles. So, if that helps you or not. So yeah, what you're endeavoring to do, we've done. We've helped many people specifically in Orange County do the same and more. So yeah, I don't have concerns about your location, where you are. It's the sandbox I play in, if you will. And we go as fast as you want to go. In fact, I dare you. Try to go faster. That would be fun. Just go over to CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap. I swear, we're going to get to the 10 things, guys, in just a moment. You just have to move at the speed of instruction. Tyler, thank you for saying that out loud. That is exactly it. We've helped people from many different locations make, so what I mean by that, Canada, yep. Switzerland, yep. I mean, understand, it's systematic because it's dealing with people. And when you're dealing with humans are, they've got cultural differences. So there are some differences, but it's not process different, right? Like, regardless of what geography you live in, you eat. So, but what you eat, yeah, that could be different, but you eat. So understanding that there needs to be tools to prepare food is how I'm trying to word this and help you understand. So if you understand that, you understand that this system works so long as you have the right to own or control property. So yeah, geographic location is not a limitation on our end. It's not a limitation on our end. So, but moving at the speed of instruction truly is, because we're asking you to do things that in some cases, many of you may have never done them. And sometimes, some of you, not all of you, but some of you need to, well, can you tell me the 12 reasons why I need to move that way instead of move this way? Because what I heard was this. And my only request is that you understand one thing. We're totally open to answering all of those things. Who this is for, who we are best suited for, are those who are willing to find out all of the why stuff later so that they can provide value now. You'll find it out. We're leading you down the path. We'll show you. We'll point out the don't go down that road anytime it comes up. But it is to your advantage and ours. Mind you, if we help you create a really crazy, awesome story, guess what we're going to do? We're going to make you famous as much as humanly possible, because there are other individuals who are just like you that we want to reach and help become entrepreneurs. Because you know what? Time is short for all of us. You never know when. And because of that, well, now a clock. That's how we see it. So CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap. Go over there. Yep. Malik says, yes, good. Renata, hey, CFD fam. You are quite welcome, Renata. Glad that you are here. And then Christopher Bagnato. Airbnb works. I need more properties. That's exactly my point, Christopher. I don't know if, Christopher, this is my first time seeing your name, so I don't know if you've been following or if you got caught up on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, and day 5. But those are over in the units, and you're 100% correct. When I first got involved in short-term rentals, was it 3.5 years ago? I interviewed people, because coming from the, more traditional real estate world, owning hundreds of apartments, commercial real estate, and cell phone towers, all kinds of interesting things, I just had questions. How does this work? Why does it work? That type of stuff. And what I kept finding, Christopher, is that individuals who had done it were still stuck. They didn't know how to scale. They didn't know how to get control over more property. They didn't know where to get more capital. They just didn't understand systems, processes, and how to create value in a completely different strategy or a different way than what, other than just doing all the work themselves. And that's what we've been able to bring to the table, is a collection of understanding, if you will, based upon everyday real world experience, not theory, not we think it should, but hey, this is what I do. So for those that are inside the roadmap, what they get, or when I'm doing the training, I literally go to our live, I don't even know what to call it, dashboard or, software implementation. I'll go straight to the live software implementation and show them, hey, see this? This is what just happened right now. Watch. And then the team doesn't know that I'm showing it happening. So they don't, they're just doing what they do. It's not like I've told them, hey guys, make sure you get this right. No, they're just doing what they do. And what ends up happening is that real time, you're watching either problems get solved, reservations come in, questions get answered, all of this stuff. And then we just break that stuff down so that then each person can implement it. Because at the end of the day, getting control over more property or getting them being able to take care of vacancy, every landlord wants 0% vacancy. They want that. But what they don't know is, do you have the systems in place to make that happen in a safe manner? And it takes time to learn systems. You cannot pick all of this up, pick everything up just by reading a book. You cannot pick all of this up just by watching a video. Yes, we give you PDFs. Yes, we have videos. Yes, you will watch and read those, because there's a lot of tactical that is there. And hello there, entrepreneur. This is Jay Massey. I know that if you've ever gone over to the site, CashFlowDiary.com, you may have asked yourself, where on earth do you get a domain name from? Especially as you are beginning to build your bigger, better, badder business, you need a web
presence. You need the email address. You need a way for people to contact you electronically so that you can stop doing the @gmail.com game. Well, the good folks over at GoDaddy have definitely supplied us with every domain that we have ever used. So what I want you to do is I want you to go over to trygodaddy.com/CashFlowDiary. Again, that's trygodaddy.com/CashFlowDiary, because it's a quick way for you to get set up to capture your domain name the exact way that you want it. They got easy search functions, and most importantly for you is that you'll be up and running today. As I said, once you get started, stay started. Don't let small little obstacles of how to get your own domain name going stop you. So again, go to trygodaddy.com/CashFlowDiary, and let's get back to the rest of the story.
We also know that as a human, you need more hands-on from time to time. Sometimes it's situational, but that's why you have your dedicated accountability coach. That's literally the point. We know what's missing, and we're giving it to you to remove the chance of it falling apart for you, because you've started stuff before and you quit. Accountability coach follows up. You didn't understand something and it can't ask the book a question. Now you have messaging access to your accountability coach to be able to get a direct answer. I mean, all of those things are things that continually move you forward. And if it feels scary, it should, because now you will know whether or not you got it. Can I do it? Well, we believe you can, but you won't be able to point at anything as, well, that's why I didn't get it done. No, that's not it at all. You know, because we've been doing it for a number of years, and now we're ready to take it to the next level. Because see, there's a lot of individuals out there who claim, hey, I can help you. Cool. I say, show me how many people you helped. I say, where's the hands-on? I say, where's the support for the human after they buy your book or your CD or tape or whatever that they bought. And we've been providing after-class support for quite some while. We're just taking it to a new level. So we're hoping more individuals want to join us, because that's literally what it comes down to. So for that's you, just get over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. I already hear no from, oh, good. I already hear no from cold calling. That's good. That's great. And if you hear no from cold calling, but you only make one cold call a day, that doesn't really get the job done, right? So, and I'm not saying you're going to do that, Malik. I'm saying that more for everyone else. Is what it comes down to is we got to hear, if you hear a lot of no's in rapid succession and over a tiny period of time, you get a lot of yeses too. And that's really what it comes down to, is how fast will you attack it? And we're going to track how fast you attack it. That's literally what it comes down to, is understanding that tracking how fast you are moving will tell you whether or not you're doing the quote unquote work. All right. We'll break that down. So Renata's tagging people. Aliso Viejo, then you're just on the other side of the street, is I like to say it. Because we often go over to the Aliso Viejo Town Center booth to for the movies. All right. Okay, I was not expecting this many questions, but I like it. Once part of your apprenticeship program, will we be able to use all of your systems that you have already vetted? Yes. Pretty much plagiarize everything you do. Not only plagiarize, we have copied, literally taking the exact templates of the words and messages that we send our guests, and they're in a PDF for you. So yes. we have. Yes, I don't know how else to say it, but yes. And that's exactly my point, because and this is what you're hinting at, because we also watch, and this is so much fun for me right here, because I've seen other individuals, like when one of our students moves to a particular area and maybe there aren't that many short-term rental operators there yet. You know what happens? I've watched people try to copy it from the outside because they think that's the magic, right? But you already know instinctively it's more than that. Here's what I mean. Your grandmother right now, I don't know, grandma, grandpa, somebody was the cook. Somebody, right? And yet, you know that if you gave grandma or whoever was the good cook the ingredients, and then maybe, I don't know, you tried to make the same thing with the same ingredients, yet somehow grandma's just tasted better. Right? So it's easy to replicate the ingredients, but not the recipe. And that's exactly what we're talking about here. Because expert tools are available for all of us. That's what's exciting. Learning how to use them expertly, that's why it takes us 12 months. That's why it is a 12-month program, because you can't get it all in one sitting, one book. It just doesn't happen. And it takes time. So give us the time. And that's what we're saying. So yeah, no, that's actually the intent, Vu. I appreciate your transparency of asking, because you're like, it sounds like you're saying this. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, man. That's exactly what we want. So I hear you 100%. This is good. Aisha, first time I think I've seen this name. Super excited to get started. I'm finishing up a small renovation of my 2 spare bedrooms and bathroom this week. Excellent. Aisha, wow. Well, actually, I don't even know if I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry. Hey, Poppy. It's Aisha. Aisha?
It sounds like Aisha.
Yeah? Okay. Aisha, if I got it wrong, I apologize. I just don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that's awesome. Finishing the reno, and it sounds like you're going to do, okay, so see, here's what I like about you, Aisha. When someone is using this particular, if it's what I think it is, we can get you up and going and profitable inside of 7 days or less, which I get excited about, because there are just certain things that are already done. I mean, obviously there's some questions and there's still some foundational stuff that we need to go do. Yet getting it done is pretty fast, right? It's pretty fast. So I don't know where you are geographically, assuming you're not in Alaska or Hawaii. 7 days, really fast to get started for you. So hopefully you have joined us or are joining us over at CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap, because we would love to take you through phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, teach you how to get the first unit, help you scale it, and then have excess capital to go out there to begin, your investing career, for lack of a better way of putting it, well, since you have extra capital. Speaking of which, for those of you who just saw me on stage up in LA, one of the other panelists, his entire business, guess what he does? He helps investors who have capital place the capital with quality operators. So guess how many of you want to bet, can guess one of the things I asked him of what he would be willing to do for you and I and everyone else. See, one of the things that we're now able to do is inside the application, I can now create situations in which experts like the gentleman I was on stage with can come and help you and I. So for those of you who are at 10, 20, 30 units, you're producing excess cash, and that excess cash should be doing something. Okay? Well, wouldn't it be convenient if we could have that person come and make sure that your cash, you understand how to vet and look and understand an operator and be able to make better investment decisions? See, this is why I'm so excited, not only about the roadmap, but also about the application, because these are things that we were not able to do before, and now we can. So let me keep going. Plagiarize. That's pretty funny. As I recently joined, did I miss the 10 things you wished you knew before you started short-term rentals? No, not yet, Renata. I was about to head that way, and then the chat blew up, and it was like question. I was like, okay, so let me answer those questions. But yes, I will go through those. But don't stop asking the questions, because I want that. Hi from Chicago. Does Airbnb work in Chicago? You know what? No, it just doesn't. Man, I'm messing with you. Short-term rentals work everywhere. Okay. Short-term rentals work everywhere. Todd, what I would encourage you to do, we have a number of students in the Chicagoland area, a number of students already out there in the Chicagoland area. We also have a number of units that we've been going through this past week. So if you've seen the unit section, you'll see day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, where we've talked about all of the pieces, or many of the pieces, from why do they work? You might want to check that one out. Also to how to talk to landlords, how to raise the capital, blah, 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 and stuff. But yes, yes, short-term rentals work anywhere there's a need for housing. That's the simplest way of putting it. Hi, I'm from Rockford. Don't know what is that in Chicago or Illinois? I have no idea what Rockford is. Maybe that's a part of Chicago, but Tremaine wants you to know, Todd, that so I'm gonna go with yes. Wow, this is awesome. Well, thank you, Vu. That was the plan from the beginning. I cannot create an entrepreneur and just teach you tactics. Hear me clearly. A lot of what you've often, now mind you, I'm a consumer of information too, and that means I purchase other people's stuff. I get it. That's not to say it's not valuable, but at the same time, it's just tactics. You need more behind that. More importantly, as the marketplace matures, you need what is affectionately known as a brand. You need a way to build the entire brand from beginning to end. What marketing strategy do you have that, I don't know, let's pretend that Airbnb, HomeAway, VRBO, Booking.com go away. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but if it did, now what? Do you have an alternative marketing strategy that even exists externally to the marketplaces? My guess is no, for most of you that are watching. And yet, in order to train and teach those things, first of all, building something like that doesn't make sense until you have a certain number of units. Okay, so if you've got one unit, congratulations, and please don't hear that, oh, I need to do that now. No, you don't. You need to focus on your land grab and scaling that sucker. Okay, and then over time, as it makes sense, we begin to build those other things. So understand. That's the intent, and it takes time, and I'm just trying to be very direct with you about that. Is that, hey, people, I know the tactics are out there. We have tactics too, and we share those. But I just also think more is needed. So, wow, not yet. Yep, you are. Oh, I got the name right. Hallelujah! Yay! Oh, she's in Philadelphia. Okay. Weird. Yeah. Anyway, that's Philly is on our radar. That's all I'm going to say. I'm walking distance to the art museums, Drexel, Penn West. Yeah, in West Philly. Got it. Cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. Aisha, that's awesome. Is the app available to current students or only to people in the roadmap? At this moment, Brian, it's available to the people in the roadmap first. There is a rollout plan for everyone because all of our existing students are still in Facebook, and it is limiting you. If you begin to talk to some of the people who are in the roadmap, they can tell you kind of more with the experience and how it's different. So yes, we have a transition plan to make that happen, so that for those of you who are there, you'll have the opportunity to come join us, because what's going to end up happening is all of the fun stuff is going to be over there. All of the Q&A, all of the stuff is going to end up over in the app. And we're just beginning that transition period, and we just decided to start with the people in the roadmap because that's what made sense. We were not going to start a brand new something and then hamstring everybody by having them stuck inside Facebook. Don't get me wrong. Facebook has been good to us. It's been great. But one of the biggest problems is that it prevents you guys who are locally near each other from even finding that out. And that's a challenge, because sometimes if you could know, you could have more support. It'd be easier to do a quick little meetup. It's just difficult right now because of the technological limitations that happen. And disseminating information that you need is also tough, because I don't know that Facebook's even sent you the notification. So we now have and being able to have one place to log in for everything, I think is going to be great. So yes, we have a plan. There is a rollout plan, for lack of a better way of putting it. And we'll let you know what that is when we're ready for those of you who are there or in that particular situation. Okay. Yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Brian, hi Todd. I'm also in Chicago. Thanks, Tyler. Based on the nearest comps and their condition, I feel like I could go at the same price as a newbie instead of underpricing. Your thoughts? Okay, so this sounds like a pricing question, and Aisha, I know this is the first time that we're catching up. I'm just going to tell you that I'm reasonably certain that you do not have clean data to be able to pull comps. I haven't looked at what you did, etc. And so, first of all, I'm going to start there, okay? Because I know what it takes to actually come close. And even then, it's still not perfect data. So if you did all that, that's amazing to me. And I don't know how you would do it as a new person, but if you did, congrats. So let's just start with that. And secondly, if you're asking me, do I believe someone just because they're new, they have to quote unquote underprice? No, I think there's other work that you should be doing. You don't approach this the same way that you do real estate. Well, you can, but you would be doing some things in the wrong order and it would cost you more opportunity. So that has nothing to do with it. And even more so, if you believe that by looking at the numbers that you can see on the calendar of the other person, if you actually are believing that number, then you've already lost in terms of falling into the quote unquote trap. Because I can literally manipulate those numbers to set a trap if I want to make you think certain things if that's what I want it to do. And I know that sounds like, what are you talking about? But what I'm saying is that I can intentionally make it look like I can make it go either way. I can make it look like I'm making more, and I can make it look like I'm making significantly less. Yeah, I can make it look either way, and you won't be able to know, I guess is really what I'm saying. So there's a lot of work that goes into pulling what I believe you're referring to when you say comp. So I'm going to put that to the side and say, do I think you have to underprice as a new person? No. Do I think people underprice as a new person? Absolutely. But it's only because they don't know the process. They haven't taken the time to find out who it is that they serve and understand what that means and how to leverage that properly all the way through the system that we have made available to people. So when people do that, then yeah, cool, underpriced. Is there a PDF for today? No, Susan, there is not. Nope, no PDF for today. All right, so the 10 things, let's start down this list. They are in no particular order because at the end of the day, it's just things I didn't know, really. It's like I just did not know. I just didn't know, right? Now, if you stick around for number one is something that has me really excited because it's something I didn't know, I didn't understand, but my wife and I have come up with a solution to where it no longer costs us money, which I'm pretty excited about. So you're going to have to stick around for number one. But I will say this. One of the things that I did not know, I was just not aware. I don't know if you are, but I was not aware of how many different, we'll call them use cases there are for short-term rentals. Okay, so let me show you what I mean by this. So I'm going to dip in HNDISCOVER. Got it. So what I'm going to do, and keep your questions going in the chat. I can see it scrolling, but I want to get through this one real fast. So here's one of the things that I did not know. I did not know that, let me remove that off the screen. I didn't know that it was, like I said, so many different use cases, so much so that the real secret to the short-term rental world is specialization. All right, specialization. I know it sounds crazy, and oftentimes the new individuals, they'll tend to try to appeal to as many different people as possible. But I like to use this particular site, one, because I want more people to know about it. Two, because I want to just illustrate something that's easy for individuals like you, like myself, to see. What you're looking at this particular moment is a place that it's a marketplace, just like Airbnb, Booking.com, etc. And this place, the listings on this site It does one thing. It specializes in advertising to those who have accessibility needs. Maybe they're in a wheelchair. Maybe they just need special accommodations as it relates to mobility. And they still have many short-term rentals available. Because one of the things you may not know or may not even considered is that you can't, one of the most underserved demographics as a whole are those who have mobility concerns. So let's go back to Aisha's question. When she says to me things like, I pulled comps, see, well, one of the different things that's not included in the comps that she may have pulled is, well, okay, that's wonderful. I appreciate you pulling comps, but who is it that you're serving? Here's why it matters. Because the comps she pulled could be completely irrelevant what if 100% of those comps that she pulled or that those listings she looked at, well, what if none of them were handicap accessible? And yet what she's looking to do is serve someone who is. Think about that for a second. So what's the price? You don't know yet. And when we start looking at things like supply and demand, I bet you it's higher. In some cases, much higher than what the comps or whatever might have said. See, this is why when we're going through the system, when you as someone here in the CashFlow Diary system, what you learn is literally how to build the business so that you are rock solid from the beginning, and you don't need us after. I mean, we're just going to build you on all core, very sound, very simple, clear principles to make sure that you have all of the worksheets and understanding that you need, so that whether you start out here in the United States or somewhere else, or you decide to change completely, you'll still know the process that you need to follow to serve your customer. And that's what's important to understand. See, I didn't know how many different use cases and specialized needs there were. I didn't know this. It didn't even occur to me. See, the same thing exists for people who just want to travel with pets. The same thing exists for those of you who just want to work with government. The same thing exists. Let's just pretend, for the sake of this conversation, you speak a second language. You speak a second language and you want to cater to people who also speak that language. Well, then now you have that ability to do so. See, because oftentimes people who speak a different language other than the language that the country they're visiting, they want to stay with someone who speaks the language. Trust me, I know. If I spoke Mandarin, we would make a lot more money, but I don't. But I also just said, for those of you that do, you now have a unique advantage, which totally separates you. We're not talking about competition, saturation. That is irrelevant. Because, and you just gotta, hold on one second. Poppy, I just heard someone knocking at the door. Did you order something? Okay, she's going downstairs. Anyway, so my point to you is that you got to understand specialization. The restaurants got this down pat, but yet when it comes to real estate, we're trying to be plain Jane and vanilla. We are not wholesalers. We are retail. Traditional landlords is wholesaling. We are retail. Retail is specific. Retail is niche. Retail is what we do, and that means you, I, all of us need to customize the business to suit a certain type of customer from the beginning. And failure to do so is why your ADR, average daily rate, is not what it could be. I don't know how else to say that. But that was one of the things I didn't know. I didn't understand that how many different ways people could use. Sorry, I've got to mark them. Now I'm marking them off as I go. So I'm going to do one or two more, and then I'll get some more of the questions. So keep those going. So one of the other things kind of close to this, but a little bit different, is when I start talking about specialization, one of the things I've also seen and learned is that there's no such thing as too narrow, too niche, right? Because I just didn't know. Right? Because and I don't know if you guys have seen stuff like this before, but let me let me show you, because I'm like, what? Because it's amazing to me that, you know, stuff like this exists, but it's there and it's true and it's there all the time, and it's always been right in front of us. We just don't think about it in the way that we should, right? We just don't think about it. So here's, okay, got it. So look at my screen. So what I've done is I've gone over to Airbnb really fast, because what I wanted to show you is what you're looking at here are tree houses, for lack of a better way of saying it. So let me do it this way. It'll be easier. And what's amazing to me is that just how many different tree houses situations that exist, because you have you can see this, guys. There's a $285 a night tree house. There's also a $150. There's the $98 one. And my point in saying this is it's very simple. It's like, I don't know, drop dead simple. To me, it's very clear. It's very simple. I'm saying this because with this whole treehouse situation, well, that's not good. With this whole treehouse situation, what's going on is you've got your Walmart, Target. Oh, you're looking at my notes, and you're supposed to be looking at me. There we go. I just realized that. Sorry about that. Anyway, so with this whole treehouse situation, is you've got specialization, and there's still levels of difference. So there's no such thing as too niche. You can have your high-end treehouse, your middle-of-the-road treehouse, your low-end treehouse, but it's still a treehouse, and yet treehouse is not niche-y enough, because it's about the experience, and that's the thing I want to drive home. It's about the experience. Okay. Let's see. Let's go here next, and there's one more. No, I'm just trying to go through my list. Where'd it go? Property management review. Yeah, there it is. Got it. Yes. Additionally, one of the things that I've learned, again, is the demographic. You can't get too niche there either, meaning some of our students specifically focus on, say, maybe Asian customers or customers from a certain geographic region. What does that mean? That means things like chopsticks are things that they put in the kitchen, which didn't occur to me. Which means those who like, meditation and that type of stuff, they literally don't have a dining room table, which to me would have never occurred. But for her, it works perfectly because she understands her customer. No such thing as too niche. But if you don't do that, you make all kinds of mistakes because you're not serving the person, or you spend money you shouldn't have spent, and you just don't know what you don't know. I get that you're excited, but either you want to guess at it and be a hobbyist, or you want it done professionally, systematically, repeatedly, because you want to know what you got right. You want to know what you got wrong. You want to be able to do it over and over again. All right. One of the other things that is a double-edged sword, because again, it's retail. And if you think about it as that, you're good. How review-based this business is. Everything you're doing is based upon the review. And I can say that, but sometimes you don't understand what that means until a customer writes down a review that you really don't agree with. And you're like, wow, that's what you experienced? Really? I don't think it was like the way that you're saying it. And you're still stuck with it. Just how review-based it is. Because in your mind, you're thinking often, especially if you come from a real estate world, you're like, this is a great location. It's right here. This is perfect. They gonna love it. And then they don't. And then you're like, what? I am ready to cut you because that did not happen. And yet, that's their experience. And sometimes you've got to live with that. That's been a double-edged sword, kind of a disappointment in some cases. Because let me give you an example of what I mean. There has been a time where the guest comes over. Now, mind you, we did everything we were supposed to do, but the neighbor decided to smoke a cigarette. And according to them, they smoked so much cigarettes that Now, I don't know if that actually happened, but let's just pretend that what they said was true. They smoked so much cigarettes, it was difficult for them to be around. And it was, we just need, can you help us? That type of situation. I was like, cool, no problem. Because we're actually prepared for situations that way. And she's like, oh no, don't bother sending anybody over. I actually travel with my own filter, and this is the blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. How would you like us to help you? She's like, I mean, this is the filter we use. Well, maybe you could provide the cost of the filters. I was like, sweet, no problem. The cost of her filters were cheaper than us sending our team over. So we do it. Great, no problem. And they're like, thank you. Now, mind you, they requested we not send someone over, and then we come to an agreement on the filters, and we send over the money so that she's got the filter she needs. Everybody's happy. Come review time, it was, when we got there was so much smoke, so much so we had to use our own filters, and they weren't very helpful. They didn't even send anyone over. And I'm like, wait a minute. What? Woo! Your boy was hot. That's all I'm going to say. Your boy was hot at that particular moment. And it's a part of the business, okay? It's literally a part of the business to understand. I didn't know it was going to be like that. And it's to the point to where today I can't really read the reviews, so I don't, but someone else does, and they do the responses. They make sure whatever it gets broken gets cleaned up, because I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle too many situations like that. And it was really, really frustrating. So anyway, I see a number of calls. Number of calls. I need to see a number of questions. So let me get a few more, and then we'll get to some more of the things that are there. I did not, announce the winners for anything yet. That's going to be tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Participated points yet. If not, when that be announced? It'll be announced tomorrow. It'll be announced tomorrow, 4 p.m. Gotcha. Thank you. I got 20K in credit. Is that enough to start a Airbnb business? Quentin, we don't have an Airbnb business. You probably want to go back to day 1, maybe day 3. We have a short-term rental business. And the answer is it depends, because what I would say to you is it depends on who you want to serve, and who you want to serve determines the type of property you're going to use. And then, because once you've figured those two things out, then once you know the type of property you're going to use, then it's $25 per square foot is where I tend to tell people to start. Over time, you're going to work that down, okay? You're going to learn to work that down. So it depends. If you start with a 500 square foot something, then yeah, that would fit. But the more important question is, do I have enough money? It's who do I want to serve? And once you understand that, because we have like I want to say it's like 30, maybe it's 45 different point questionnaire that you go through to make sure that you understand as much as you possibly can that's relevant for your customer type, so that on the other end, yeah, you don't spend more than you need to. So said another way, have people gotten started for less than that? Yeah, absolutely. Have people been able to do multiple units with that? Also true. And have people spent more than that? Also true. So all of those things are true, and it just depends. There is no one de facto number. I don't care who says it to you. They are being either irresponsible or they're just flat lying. Period. Because until you know who it is that you serve, you don't know. Now, am I reasonably confident that the majority of use cases can be covered by the amount you just said? Yeah, sure. But again, I don't know who it is that you want to serve, and that's part of the beginning. That's literally module 1, figuring that out. For those of you who want to go ahead and get started, get over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Let me keep going. Tremaine says this is that. Oh, that is eye-opening, Jay. Thanks. You're welcome. Tremaine, I got stories for days. There's a giant potato for rent in Idaho, right? I'm just saying. You got to understand, Jay, I got a 2-star feedback. No! 2-star feedback because he was pissed when I sent him 1, the list of rules, 2, the early checkout price, though he didn't pay yet. he gave feedback saying he was annoyed because I charged for additional service. Yes, exactly. You will learn a lot about people. Boy, will you learn a lot about people. And that's just how it goes, peeps. But that's part of the business. And I didn't know that going in. I know what you meant. Yeah, I knew you meant late checkout. So, yeah. I knew what you meant. It's rough, man. It's hard out here sometimes. All right, let's get to another one. Another thing that I did not know that I've since discovered is how political this thing is. I had no idea. I mean, I knew it wasn't nice and all, but I didn't know it was like it is. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Y'all really care. And you're so wrong. Because that's part of the challenge is that there's a lot of challenges in some jurisdictions. And oftentimes what I've learned when I sit down, listen, hear them out, I'm like, oh, so that means you don't know this. So that you've never seen this. Because there's answers to nearly everything. And most everything that I've ever seen on the news as a news story about how bad something is or look what happened here. It's always something that's preventable. It's always something that doesn't happen to our students because we've already given them a system to prevent it. So hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, give me 1 second. Let me see. Let me go to the next one. Oh, got it. Yes. How easy, quote unquote, it can be to operate at a distance. With the right system, one of the things that I thought it was just going to take more time to develop the system that could operate at a distance, but apparently I was wrong because we now have students who are operating very far apart, and sometimes it becomes a contest to see who can get their business started and then fly the furthest away and see what happens. It's pretty interesting to watch it and hear the stories of, oh my gosh, I was able to go home and take a vacation for the first time ever because boom, the business still works far away. Or man, it's 4 hours away, but it doesn't really matter. Or we went on vacation, everything kept running, we made even more money. Those are exciting things I just did not know. I just didn't know what I didn't know. Got it. One of the things I also didn't know, and I learned the hard way, is that those established property management companies typically didn't work. I didn't understand. I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't understand why they didn't work until I started doing it myself and developing a more efficient system. And that's what's happened. There are certain things that they're just not capable of doing because of scale, because they're trying to serve so many different types of customers that it doesn't work out the way that you and I, when we're trying to maximize revenue and occupancy and all of these things to make sure that we hit the highest RevPAR possible, they're not necessarily equipped to make that happen. Now, I'm not saying they're not good at marketing. I'm not saying they're not good at their job. I'm saying they're not equipped to maximize your revenue because there are just certain policies and procedures and things that decisions you begin to have to make in order to serve the number of people that you're serving. Then it became a question of, if I can't use them, can I do it myself without it destroying my lifestyle? And we've just kept continually refining the system so that the answer would be yes. But I didn't know. I mean, because a lot of people ask me, I'm just gonna do this. Okay, cool. You can go do that. You can go. I was just gonna put it with a property manager. No problem. Here's what's going to happen, and I'm okay with that. Doesn't bother me. And nor am I saying, please give me your property because I don't want it. But what I am saying is, here's where you're going to not be able to earn the most amount of revenue. And here's why. And that's what happens, every time. Now, that's not to say that you still won't be profitable, though. I'm saying you won't be earning the most amount of revenue. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Let me see. Let me get a couple more in here. Oh, got it. I didn't understand just how new this thing is. What do I mean by that? You can tell an industry is new because of the lack of software available. Oh my God. You want to talk about going through it over and over and with the technology, trying to figure it out. How do I get people in? How do I get people out? How do I make sure I know what's going on and what's not going on? Just the amount of technology that does not exist for our use case and how much we've had to adapt other things is tremendously amazing, because you would think it's real estate. They've got everything they need. Nope, not for this use case. right? And that's also been something that I think has been like eye-opening to say the least. Additionally, I didn't understand how big the opportunity is, similar to what Nevin was just talking about, around additional services. How much money you can make just from having a system to be able to systematically, consistently, easily charge and collect early arrival and or late checkout. Wow, can make a big difference. Just how easy, just how much opportunity there is around being able to provide something as simple as an additional cleaning. It suddenly becomes like, wait a minute here. I mean, things like cars and automobiles and what else? Food. Just there's so much additional opportunity, right? Let me give you a free one, for example. Some of you know someone who's an artist, right? That artist needs a gallery to display their work. And they're having trouble getting into one, but you think they're good. Great. Awesome. And you still need art in your units if you want to make them look right. Well, if you hear what I just said, you're going to display their art in exchange for commission, just like a gallery, so that if one of your guests likes the art, then all of a sudden, you know what just happened? Everybody's happy. Your friend now has art on the wall, made a commission. You made a little bit of money off the art on the wall that you did not pay for. What was once an expense is now a line item of revenue. There's so many opportunities around additional revenue, additional services, that it's also absolutely insane. One of the other things I didn't know, and I say this to you very importantly, is that the window is closing. Now it's closing slowly. What does that mean? That means that in a lot of places, the window's still wide open, but it's going to close slowly. Let me say it differently. It's going to get harder before it gets easier. Period. And the time to build your brand is now. Period. Grab the land while it's easiest. Right? And then you sort it out later. Because what's going to win are those basically brands that come out the largest. You've heard of Sonder. You've heard of Lyric. You've heard of Vacasa. You've heard of all of these now really large hedge funds and companies that are being venture funded, etc. There's a reason. Because they see the same thing I'm telling you. There's a reason. There's a reason Marriott just started their first 5,000. Because they see the same thing I'm telling you. And then that window's going to close. Not completely. It's just going to get harder. And harder, and harder, and harder. What does that mean? That means start today. Honestly, that's literally what it means. Now, there's two more things that I think I didn't know that we're going to go over. But before I do, I want to get to some more of the questions. And if you know that you are ready to get started, go ahead and go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. For those of you who are waiting, so to speak, in terms of, am I the one that won the scholarship? If that's something that you're concerned about, let me tell you how that's going to work. You are making literally the same commitment as every other person, the $9.97 per month, right? And what happens is, if you are that person, you're still making the same commitment. We are just applying a refund and or credit towards the back end of your monthly payments. So what does that mean? That means get started now. Don't wait, because I'm not going to even tell y'all that yet. Don't wait. Don't wait. Nonetheless, let me go look up here. I see the giant potato, late checkout, boom, boom, boom. Jay, I have a VIP discovery session at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. So Malik, I saw that and I'm like, I don't even know how that happened. What I was going to say is, what I was going to say to you, got it. What I was going to say to you is, Malik, if I'm not mistaken, there's nothing for those calls are for the people who are not yet in, bro. I'm like, what happened? How did that end up over there? I have no idea. So I was like, that's weird. and yet funny nonetheless. But that actually gets me to my point, the one thing that I was going to say to everyone. Now, for those of you who have been like wondering, should I, shouldn't I? I'm going to do something I normally don't do, but I'm going to do something anyway. Now, let me hear me clearly. This is not this is for those of you who are considering the program and you're ready to move forward. Not, I can pick Jay's brain for 15 minutes and try to just giving you a tactic is not the answer to you building a business. No way in 15 minutes can one tactic your business make. What I want to do is that I want to help you get worked through whatever it is that you got to work through, but we got to work through it in 15 minutes because there's a lot of y'all and there's only one of me. Okay, so what does that mean? That means I created a quick little link for you guys to go to cashflowdiary.com/2020, meaning you see clearly and this is your year. You like, hey, I want in the program. Great, cool. Let's get you in. You got some questions, go to cashflowdiary.com/2020. One of the things that we are doing is that I am, doing calls tonight. I'm doing calls tomorrow morning. And I'm doing calls Tuesday, 11:59 p.m. All of this information comes down, period. And only those inside the roadmap will see it again. So if that's you, yes, you can make the call. If you know you're already in, just go to go cashflowdiary.com/roadmap and just get it done. Now, let me see who else. Now, let me also say, I know you think, well, I'm just going to get on the phone and ask him questions anyway. Please don't force me to hang up on you. Don't do that. Leave the spot for the people who are literally the ones concerned about the program. Okay, guys, I'm just asking, right? I know you got thousands of questions. It takes thousands of systems and questions to build a business. And there's no way I can give you all of it in 15 minutes. If there was, I would have done that already. Seriously. It's not that I don't have to try to withhold anything. I just can't answer everything in 15 minutes. And I'm trying to help as many people who are ready, who said, I want to earn more money. I want to make that happen this year, get it done. Okay? And Malik, you are going to talk to me tomorrow morning. You are good, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was so funny. Quentin says, I'm ready to build now. Great. Quentin, if you're ready, go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. That is the point. Next 12 months, I'm training you, my team, and your accountability coach. We are pushing you across step by step. Get it done. cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Go ahead and complete your order form, complete your enrollment paperwork, and I will see you at 10 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. Just that simple. Amen. Starting today. Got it. Great, Tremaine. Go ahead. Again, let me put that one up there instead. cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. And then we're going to get to the two other things that I by far have had the most revelations about. Oh my God. And especially one of those two being how we my wife and I were able to figure out how to take what was an irritation to me and turn it into a profit center has been amazing. All right. Where are we going? 1, 2. Quentin, Mason, you're laughing. I'm guessing, Quentin, you're laughing at me and something I said. Probably don't make me hang up on you. I've had people do that because they're like, oh, good. This is my opportunity to ask him everything. And I'm just like, no. And no. And I mean, don't put me in the position of having to do that. I'm just asking. Now, for those of you who are ready, you like, okay, I want this, but I have a couple of questions. Great, come. That's who it's for. But yeah, don't put me in that position, please. It doesn't feel good to me. And you're asking me to be irresponsible. I got 15 minutes. You can totally straighten out my life. No, I can't. No, I flat can't. I'm telling you I can't. All right. Ooh, what is this? Hey, Thomas, Lori. I don't know if are you tagging someone, Fu? I don't know what that was. Sorry. Doesn't make Justin. Hi, Justin. How are you? Savoka? I don't know if I've just messed up your name or what, man. 40,000 in business credit, enough to build and scale. No cash reserves, personal business at this point. Got it. So I feel like I just answered this question and I will answer it again. It depends, Justin. Here's what that means. I don't know who it is that you're going to serve. Everything is contingent upon who you serve. Okay, so let me give you a completely different wild example. Let's pretend, Justin, that what you want to do is you want to serve the crowds of people who like to go to crazy concerts in the middle of the desert. Okay, your startup costs there are completely different. Completely. You know why? Because you need a patch of dried dirt, firewood to make a campfire, because they're bringing all their sleeping equipment. I don't know if I'm communicating clearly to you, bro. But the answer is it depends on who you want to serve. So, and let's take the same thing. Let's pretend now suddenly, because here's another idea, guys. Remember I told you we found 45 different use cases. Do you realize that every movie you have ever seen was filmed in a short-term rental? Think about that for a second. Have you ever noticed how Wayne Manor in the Batman movies and the Xavier School for Extraordinary Kids in X-Men? You ever notice how similar those two buildings look? See, some of y'all are like, what? Yeah, I know, you're researching it right now. Got it. Short-term rentals, people, is my point. So, Justin, if you were trying to make houses that are going to be, or use houses that are going to be movie sets, is $40K enough? Probably not. So it's not about an amount of money. It's about understanding who your customer is. And I've given you two crazy extreme examples just to prove and illustrate the point. I appreciate that you have capital. What I want to know is, do you have time? Do you have determination? Will you hear no? Will you keep going despite the fact, just because you have money, that doesn't mean you're ready or qualified. What I care about, though, is will you follow the system? Because we can help you. And that's great, right? That's great. We can help you. Will you do the work? That's what I don't know. I don't know what's inside Justin. Can Justin hear no? Or does Justin hear no one time and go home and wait 2 weeks before he tries again? Because that's frustrating to me and to you. Or can you hear no 15 times a day? If you can hear no 15 times a day and keep going, keep improving, and understand that it is constant, never-ending improvement, then come on. And I don't care how much money you have. That attitude, we can do something with it. Okay? We can do something with it. So that's what we're looking for. CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap, ma'am. Let's do it. Thomas is here. He says, hey, Vu, Thomas. And I'm assuming you two know each other, so he made it safe. And that includes your training cost, Jay. Sure. That's $997 per month, Justin. $997 per month. As I showed people a second ago, see, I love it. Hold on, let me go back to that page. $997 per month. When you go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap, what you're going to see is something that looks like this right here, Justin. It's 12 months. So we're going to be with you for 12 months, 1 year. I am training you for 1 year, and my team, we're going to be there with you. You have your own accountability coach. You're going to have access to all of my courses, which means phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, how to get your first unit, how to scale the entire business, and then how to go buy real estate with the extra cash. Currently, it says 3 times, because that's what we're doing. We're currently doing 3 additional training calls on a weekly basis. And those who are in the roadmap will have access to all 3 of those calls. Attend them. They're all recorded, transcribed, and et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. And it's $997 per month for 12 months. If you want to pay in full, Justin, completely fine by us. And we will send you a 50K. Wow. A 50-inch 4K. We don't have 50K TVs yet, but I guess we'll get there one day. I don't even know what 50K definition looks like. That's got to be crazy. At some point, it just becomes a stereogram. Anyway, so you will get a 50-inch television. We suggest you use it, put it in your first unit, but who knows? You can do what you want. Nonetheless, but what I think you're also alluding to, Justin, is yes, have people paid more than $40,000 for what I do and for me to work with them? Yes, a lot more. And that's not what we're doing here. We're now structured. We're putting it in place because we want to help more people create more multiple 6 and 7 figure earners. If that's you, Justin, great. Go ahead, do it. CashFlowDiary.com/roadmap. We look forward to seeing you on the other side. And in a moment, we're going to go over the next 2 little pieces that I was talking about. Oh, look, Akila's in the house. What is going on? What am I looking for? Next 2. Got it. Here it is. The other 2 things that in this, and I'll show you. So this is the one that I just didn't know how much it was going to irritate me, right? See, you were, I don't know, my mom, my parents, how I grew up, they said, hey, you don't leave the the air conditioner on or the heater on and the window open at the same time. This is not what you do. Because that electricity ain't free, son. Turn off the light, right? Did y'all hear something similar? I mean, was my parents the only one? I don't think so. So do me a favor. If your parents said something like that, do me a favor. Give me like raise your hand in the chat. I'm curious. Were my parents the only one that seemed to have a utility Nazi, like between the 2 of them? I don't know if it was a tag team, if they chose your turn this time. I don't know what they did, how they made a decision, but yet it seems like to me, I heard it a lot. Did you leave the light on? Did you cut the light off? Don't forget to turn off the water. Is it all the way turned off? Is it still dripping? Turn off the AC. The window's open. Were those things you heard too? My guess is they are. And you know what's also interesting? Your guest, the people who stay at your short-term rental, they clearly have never heard it. Because they just don't care. Window open, it suddenly doesn't matter. Electricity is now free, and who cares about the environment? It's a unique, it's just interesting. So it was bugging me. So guys, hear me clearly. What does that mean? I was watching the utility bills on all of our units just be like, what are you doing to my electricity? I don't understand. Because are you eating it? I just don't know. How is that possible? In all of the utilities. Anyway. And it was really bugging me. And then what happened is that my wife and I, we found a way to take what was my irritation and turn it into a potential profit center. Meaning, let me say it differently. 2019, I've been looking at our P&L and all kinds of things. So it's pretty interesting to see this stuff. In 2019, we spent, you ready? $32,000 on utilities. I'll let that sink in. By the way, that does not include the internet. $32,000 on utilities. You want me to say it one more time? Because that's a lot, right? I just want to be really clear. I'm like, what in the world is this? And I'm okay now because we found a way to make it a net zero cost. Meaning, to be more transparent, we were able to get $29,000 back. I was excited. I am way more excited than I used to be. See this? This is me not caring as much because it doesn't hurt as much. It's not as painful as it used to be. And I'm just like, okay, good. Yay. Awesome. And I was talking to my wife. I'm like, we need to tell them, like all of the people in the roadmap, how we did this, blah, blah, blah. Are you willing to do a training? She's like, yeah, but what do I say? I'm like, don't worry about that. You'll figure it out. And are you willing to do a training? So yes, she is. And what's awesome is that many of you will have an opportunity to sit down, to understand literally how we did it. Because what it comes down to, guys, is that utilities, that's going to be an expense. It's going to be a big one, especially as you continue to scale. And for those of you where it gets really cold, you're going to thank us a lot. Because being able to remove that as one of your expense items, even if it's a zero cost, it's better than, paying money for it. Even if it takes time, all of those things, expenses matter. You got to pay attention to them. I didn't even know that was possible, and I was excited about it. Still am, for that matter. With that being said, who's ready for the number one thing I did not know that I wish I knew because I could have been more prepared for it. But now those of you who are in the roadmap, you are already being prepared for it and will be prepared for it by the time you actually need it. If you want to know what that number one thing is, do me a favor, type a 1 in the chat. And what I'll do is I'll tell you, but I'm not going to tell you until I see at least 10 different people type 1 in the chat. That's right. I'm just going to sit here, sip my coffee until I see 10 ones in the chat. So if you're thinking, oh, I'll wait till somebody else do it, we can drink coffee together for a little while. I'm having fun now. Sorry, wife was looking at me. Yeah, 32, right? Susan's like, $32,000. Close the window. You're letting that heat out. Exactly, Malik. You know what I'm talking about. Close the refrigerator door. They know. 32,000. Yes, I'm telling you. How did you get $29,000 back? Voo, I know, right? You got to know this stuff. That's why it's important. Oh, I see. Okay, so we got some number one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we're not there yet. So I guess I get to take another sip of the coffee. Tweaking this floor tile. I'm sorry, what? I don't understand, Aisha, what is tweaking the floor tile? I don't even know what that means. Did you type? I bet you she was trying to respond to somebody else in a different thread. I really don't know what that's about. But if you want to explain it, that'd be great. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Do we have 10? Let me see. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, 10. There we go. Got it. Okay. Aisha is there, and Tyler, I hear you, man. I hear you.
One.
That was Renata. Renata type all the ones, trying to get to the ones.
Like her.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. I think I think Renata, you'll be able to meet. I'm just double checking. I forget all the people names who are in, but I believe Renata is. So yes, you will be able to catch up with her when you do your training. All right. Okay, so here it is. The number one thing. And the number one thing that I did not know, I didn't understand how fundamental it was. I could have an understanding, but I didn't really understand. Here's what I mean. And it sounds boring, but it's also the key to your freedom. It's simply called standard operating procedures. But to be more clear, having those standard operating procedures actually documented, written down, so that someone else could read it and follow it and do it. See, many of you've heard me say that, we do 130, 150 reservations a month. You've heard me say that we have a number of locations and all these beds and all this other stuff. And then you hear me follow that up with, and I work about an hour a day. And you wonder, how's that possible? Well, simple. It's possible because what ends up happening is that we have a lot of standard operating procedures already written down. And I didn't understand not only how important they are, but how many they are. So let me show you something else. So what I'm showing you right now, this is a template. This is like the starter kit. You know how when you go get shampoo and they give you a small little starter kit, and there's the amount you really need, but they give you the starter kit. This is the starter kit when it comes to putting together your standard operating procedures. So let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the starter kit. Now watch. Each one of these little cards, I'm using a tool known as Trello. You may not know, you may have heard of it before, but let me show you. So I can move this. This one thing right here that's wiggling, that is one standard operating procedure. One, to do one thing. Okay, that's just one. If that makes sense. Okay. Now watch. I just start scrolling to the right. Now, mind you, this is the starter kit. And look at this. You see how that list, it scrolls down as well. Okay, so this is each one of those is one thing. And this happens to be the list of daily tasks. Got to have a process for lost and found. Well, what are our policies? Making sure that those get communicated not only to guests, but also to your staff, which means you have to first come up with them. Then we've got frequently asked questions. And oh my God, these span and are customized and have to change because you never know what's going to happen. Do you know how long it takes to document one of these, let alone this many? Do you have any idea? Do you realize that every time that you go to a new platform, you start on Airbnb and then you go over to booking.com and then maybe you want to do some home away, and then heaven forbid, should you do something on a direct basis, you need more SOPs. Then you've got your maintenance. And this, again, this is the starter kit. I think you're beginning to understand what I am saying here is that there's a lot of work inside of putting together standard operating procedures that can cover 80-90% of what it is that you do as a short-term rental operator. And those who are in the roadmap, who are in the program, we give them that starter kit. But just giving it to you isn't enough. What? Just giving it to you isn't enough. Because I can give you expert tools all day long. Many of you can go buy expert tools, but you don't know how to use them expertly. That's what matters, period. And that's what I'm trying to communicate, ladies and gentlemen, is that a number of you, especially if you started in the short-term rental game, you've probably made some money, probably some good money, and that's wonderful. Here's the challenge. The marketplace is maturing. What your customer is asking for is going to also increase because the certain standard of quality and service is also going to increase like every other marketplace. What your customer expects is different. Just think about websites. There was a time you just barely made a website. Everybody was on page 1 of Google because there weren't that many websites. Now, when it comes down to being found on the internet, you gotta work because there is no just post it and they will come. Right? So this is no different, which means it's going to professionalize. And for those of you who are just not doing the work to professionalize, you will lose your opportunity. Your profit margins are good. That means the professionals are coming. Hi. And now it also means that the people who train the professionals are coming. Hello. That's what we're doing. So we're looking for those of you who want to be that professional. So get over to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap because those are the things that I did not know that I didn't know. 10 things I wish I knew because I would have started documenting my processes so much sooner as opposed to scaling and then ending up in a position where I'm like, I'm trying to hire a VA and I don't know what to do. That's what happened. And then I was stuck. Because I'm like, how do I train them on all of these one-off things that doesn't happen every day? And oh my God, it was overwhelming. And then we just stopped and started documenting them one at a time. And it took us about 4 months. 4 months in order to get it done. And if you only have one unit, you're never going to get it done. Because you have to have so many different things happen. And then after you've written it out, you know what you really have to do? You have to have someone who wasn't a part of the creation process try to follow it and test it. And did they accomplish the goal? And if they can accomplish the goal, then and only then do you know, oh, this standard operating procedure works. Cool. 1 down, 267,000 to go. That's really what it feels like because it's got to be followable by so many different people. It can't be just you knowing how to follow it. It's got to be documented in a way that everyone can read it, understand it, and know what to do, which meant in some cases, their video. Yeah, it's awesome. Man, there's so much to this business. I love the people who try to cut the corners because what ends up happening is that just keeps the room and the opportunity available for those who are coming to professionalize it. If you want to join us, what you need to do is go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. Those of you who get that done tonight, you will be a part of the call tomorrow morning. So I'm going to scan the chat one more time while I do that. I'm going to remind you guys, if you feel like you need 15 minutes to get across that line and make it happen, fine. Go to cashflowdiary.com/2020. It's a 15-minute call. Do not book multiple 15-minute calls. I promise you, I will cancel it. Okay? This is not the, I can prick his brain for 15 minutes. That is not what I said. This is for those of you who are ready to move forward. Maybe you have one more question. I don't know. Something. Either way, I'm making it available to you. I normally don't do this. I'm doing it because I'm just curious. Trying to figure it out. So, cashflowdiary.com/2020. We will get on the phone. We will have 15 minutes. And at the end of that 15 minutes, my expectation is that you're ready to move forward. And we will help you make that happen. This is not, and just to be clear, this is not okay, so here's what happened. I was doing this and I tried to do this and I was ironing my sheets. So how would you handle that? That is not this call. Although tomorrow at 10, I'll probably get a few of those because the people in the roadmap, they ask that kind of stuff all the time. And we want to make sure it gets straight. So hopefully this has been helpful for you, because that's our goal, is to be as helpful as we possibly can, guys. All right. Let me see. Literally finishing this floor, master lease, then having to own the property. It's not quite a master lease, Samson, but the concept is similar because there are nuances from a legal aspect for sure that make a huge difference. But I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I'm doing all the work yourself. That's good, Aisha. And I'm glad you're doing the work. And, where you start isn't necessarily where you stay. I know you might like doing the work, but I'm going to say this to you. In my mind, it's not the highest and best use of your time. And you're not saving money. I know people tell me that all the time. You're not saving money. It's not fast. It's not any of those things. And I can document and easily show you that. But I want to get you to the point where you don't have to do the work or feel like you have to do the work, and work with your mindset for 12 months so that you don't even consider the idea of doing the work yourself. Yeah, that's what gets me excited. Don't forget, we have a training tomorrow at 4. I totally don't remember what it was about right now off the top of my head, but I will definitely remember by 4 o'clock to make sure that I'm ready for it. I got ones. I can't wait. I bring the golden nuggets. Yeah, that's what I do. That I can't help myself. It's kind of what I do. Drone flying. There is drone fly. Okay. All right. So let me tell you guys what just happened right here. John has been, He's been operating for a while. He saw what I was scrolling through, and one of the frequently asked questions was around drone flying. Because he's like, wait a minute. You have to have that one? I know, bro. This is my point. When you have a portfolio that's too small, you don't get all the weird stuff. And then your people don't know what to do. And then you're now right back in the day-to-day of it because they don't know the answer and they're trying to track you down. So, and yes, we had to have a FAQ for drone flying, bro. I know. Right? Anyway. Oh, yeah, bro. Are you smarter than a 5th grader? Bro, you have no idea. you have no idea. And I mean, you will be amazed that there have been situations where I've been amazed. I've asked people, like in my head, I'm asking myself, if that's what you did, you thought that was the good idea. Like, what was the first idea you had that you said, no, that won't work? Because my mind is blown. Like, really? You thought that was going to solve the problem? Yeah, there are things that I can't even begin to tell you guys. It's just insane. Anyway, Vu says, thank you. You are welcome. I agree. I don't want to be at this level of work again. Absolutely. And Aisha, that is a choice. We have helped many get beyond that, because that's really what I'm talking about. So now, one thing that Susan is saying here, and I just want to be really clear, I don't want your rent money. All right. I don't want your rent money. Not because I don't believe it, because I don't, no, that's not what I'm after. Okay. Now, does it mean it shouldn't be a stretch? No, it should be a stretch, but I'm not after your rent money. That is you. You need to take care of that. You need to keep moving forward the best you can. Okay. At the end of the day. Also though, even if it is, it doesn't scare me because I know what can happen when people are ready to actually make it work. I've seen it. John's been one of many examples. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, I get excited to do this for people. This is what I get up for. I get up to help you come up. Literally. That's my job. That's how I see it. That's what gets me excited. For those of you who are joining us, congratulations. Thank you. For those of you who are getting on the phone call, be good. Don't be booking no call if you ain't serious, because I only want to talk to those. We have other forums for the pick my brain stuff. Okay, we totally do. We do it all the time. And at the same time, if you are ready to move forward, we're ready to move with you. If you want to be a part of the 10 a.m. call tomorrow, go to cashflowdiary.com/roadmap. In the meantime, I'm going to sip some more coffee, eat some dinner, do my thing. And then lastly, but not leastly, by any stretch of the imagination, we've all got some sad news today. I know. Someone that exemplified excellence, hard work, discipline, all the things that it takes to become awesome, is no longer with us. It just reminds me of just how important every day, every moment is. And if I'm not operating at my highest and best self, I'm not guaranteed that next moment. Again, I want to make sure that I can say I gave it my all. That's what we're doing. That's what we're about. Come join us. Look forward to talking to you guys soon. Until next time.